Hi there, Libra. Welcome back to Feathered Serpent Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for your subscribes, your likes, your comments. It's been really exciting for me and my daughter. We only started this channel about a week ago. And we're so happy with the response so far. And we have lots of ideas as to what we're going to put up on this channel in the future. For instance, I'm going to be heading to Mexico very soon. I'm going to be following up on some research into the Mayan triple goddess Ixchel. And my curiosity has been piqued from recent trips there, and so I'm going to be going to follow up on that, and I'll be journaling it on YouTube. So if that sort of thing interests you, please follow along. But for today, we're going to get into your full moon focus for June 2017. And for you, this full moon falls in your third house of communication, short-term travel, and siblings. So it's in Sagittarius, which is a very light energy. It's very complementary to Libra. But as I look at your reading, if you also check out the Mundane Monday video that I just uploaded, it'll explain to you a little bit about what's also happening in tandem with the full moon, and that is Jupiter is turning direct in Libra. So this time that Jupiter has been around, I've definitely been feeling expansion. I am Libra sun. But the first time that I was aware of Jupiter in my sign was about 12 years ago. And I just felt like I was a helium balloon being like blown up beyond, am I going to pop at some point? I didn't, but it was very expansive and I could feel that energy throughout the time that Jupiter was there. And so Jupiter is turning direct. It's been retrograde for a little while. I'll have to do a little bit more research as to how long it's been retrograde. But with Jupiter, when it's moving forward, it's expansive. When it's retrograde, it feels very contracted and very restricted. And so, which is being reflected in the atmosphere of your reading. So what I've done here is I've laid down a 3-card spread from the Lenormand deck, which is very different from tarot, and it gives a little bit of insight as to some of the action that's happening for the full moon for you. But I also have a 3-card spread with the tarot, and so I have the general focus for the full moon. Then I have the angle on relationships, and then an angle on your professional life, and then I've also got cards that talk about the atmosphere that's surrounding all of these things. So with the atmosphere in the clarifying thing, way in the background is this sort of lingering restrictive sense that Jupiter retrograde has left with many Libras. A feeling of restriction, mainly by their own mental process. I can definitely vouch for that. And just a feeling of being held back. So, but the other card, the main card from the Klimt deck, is the 8 of Cups. So there is that sense of restriction and then breaking away. So that's sort of what's going on in the background of things. But there's more specific action happening, I think, for the full moon for you. So the main central focus, remembering that this is about the third house of communication, short-term travel, siblings, and whatnot. So, and this week we also have Mercury moving into Gemini, which is enhancing communication for everybody. So the result for Libra is a sense of emotional fulfillment all across the board, with family, with lovers, with friends, and it's covered by the Ace of Wands. So what this is suggesting is that there's a fresh fire burning that's opening up to a whole new way of relating. And this month's theme generally for everyone, because of so many planets that are congregating in Cancer, it is about family. The theme for everyone is about family. So communications are likely to be on fire with your family and with your friends. You're going to be coming up with all sorts of ideas, becoming inspired. Likely you've got fire signs around you who are assisting in building the fire and perhaps collaborating along with you. I know that that's true in my life. So that's your central focus. Let's take a look at relationships. So in relationships, we have the King of Cups. So this is either someone who is in your life who is demonstrating the qualities of a very mature, emotionally stable, considerate, almost like a father type figure, a truly loving father type figure. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So let's see what we can pull from this. This is either you feeling very, very much at peace with where you are emotionally, what you have to offer to others, but you're not quite prepared to move on it yet. So this is a sense of wholeness and maturity, of knowing what you have to offer a relationship, being ready to do that for the most part, but there's still a bit of a waiting period before actually moving forward. And I think that the answer behind this really lies in the professional aspect of things. And this is where the Lenormand spread starts to relate to what I think is happening more in the professional sphere for Libra. So in the professional sphere, we've got death. And covering that is the High Priestess. So a certain way of being professionally is ending for you. And it may, at its worst, it could be because there are secrets somewhere within your professional environment, and something about this, or maybe there's something that you're not aware of within your work environment, has caused something to break down. It also could be just a complete rehaul of management style, one that's maybe more intuitively based, as opposed to something more corporate. I don't know. It's interesting to have this. This is like a deep reflection on whether what you're doing professionally is really in line with your spiritual goals. And so it may be that with the environment of the Eight of Cups, which is moving on or moving to a new level, is also possible. But there's something still that's holding you back. So now we go to the Lenormand and see if we can round out this story. So the Lenormand cards that I pulled for you is, it says brooms on here, but it's whip. So whip and scythe. And then underneath it, you've got stars. So let's just go through, first of all, what each of these cards mean separately, and then what they suggest together. So the whip is something about a discussion. It could be an argument or just rapid activity. Really, really quick. News that comes in very fast, discussions and agreements that just kind of synergistically come together because the conditions are right, because you're ready to move from one to something completely different. This is switching tracks. Lots of crossroads happening right now for a lot of people in terms of making absolute endings in one thing and absolute beginnings in something else. And it's a very quick change. So the scythe also is a quick change. This is fast decisions, could be surgery. And then the stars is about dreaming, dreams, fate, fame, all of these things that kind of come together. So when you put whip and scythe together, you get irritation. It suggested that there could be some troubles and cancellation. Now, with the full moon being in the third house of communication, short-term travel, there may be Libras who are planning a trip where something just might get in the way of allowing that to happen just yet. Um, there's also, when you take the stars card and you pair it with each of these, you get success, fast action, and implementing plans. There's also the possibility that that there may be an athlete who, prior to a big win of some sort, is going to have a little bit of drama that's going to, just make the story that much better. I don't see that whatever's happening here is going to be terrible, or seriously unfortunate, because there's too many other positive cards. But it's like the straw that broke the camel's back that pushes you to jump into something and just move right on, move into the next thing as soon as possible. So if you are planning a trip, if there is some sort of delay, it's probably going to be short-lived and more illusory than anything else. But it's going to be significant in the way you view yourself professionally after this full moon. And you can watch your monthly video to get a little bit more insight as to where that might be leading you. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there may be some resonance between those, between the two things. So one thing to remember, that in amongst all of this activity, is that Sagittarius really should lighten any of the unexpected things that may crop up. And like I said, it'll just be like a spark and then fizzle, and then you'll just make your step and do what you got to do. So happy full moon, Libra, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.